All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Awesome. Hey, friends. This is Carolina Morelli, and I'm here with Julie Thompson Seal. She is one of the most baller fencers. She is a 14-time national champion. She's a 4-time world champion. She's a wife, a mom of 5. She collects cars.
Yeah.
17.
So I have a little bit of a car problem. Yeah.
She's got a car problem. She's really funny. And I have the pleasure of spending a week with her out here in Moab, Utah for bougie fencing retreat / training camp / adventure.
Bougie fun,
everything, getting stabbed, learning a lot, smelling really bad.
Smelling really bad, like we do, right? Like I do.
Yeah,
you smell pretty good.
I took a shower.
It shows.
Yeah.
Rude.
Very rude of you. I almost farted in my socks today. Anyway, she's awesome, and today we were spending some time together, and we were talking about mindset and how important that is in both of our careers and in life in general. So I asked her if I could interview her to share her wisdom with you. But before we get to that, I have some questions just to set you up.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
The game. If you don't want to answer something, just it's fine.
I say pass. Okay.
How many glasses of wine have you drunk tonight?
Pass.
Okay. All right. So tell everybody a little bit about your early life and how you first got into fencing.
So I've always done sports, and I played softball actually and baseball when I was growing up. But a lot of my athletic ability just came from playing. Like, nowadays we have video games, but back in the day, the Atari wasn't doing it, so we played outside constantly. From the generation where your mom kicks you outside and says don't, and she locks the door and says you're not. Eat from the garden and drink from the hose, and I'll see you at dinner time.
And we're not dead, clearly.
Yeah, I'm fine.
The hose is fine.
I thought it was great. Tasted great. Anyway, so I learned balance and athleticism. We made up games like the ground is lava, and we would climb to the roof, jump from the roof to the clothesline. The T that you do, the clothesline. Jump from that to the fence, walk around, balance on the fence, walk around, jump to the swing set, across the swing set, do the jump to the rope swing across, and then there's like this large spool that we keep wire on, and you'd have to roll it out with your feet over to the shed, jump on the shed, now back on the roof. Whoever does that the fastest wins. That
is awesome. Did your parents have a life insurance policy on you?
Yeah, it was the 80s.
At like 4?
Like in the 80s, if you didn't break your leg or almost, die doing some sort of recreational activity, were you even living?
You weren't living.
Were you learning? Were you even living life?
No,
I don't think so.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I didn't answer.
How do you get into fencing?
Right. So then I went to college, and I came to college out here in Utah. Everyone here in Utah is big. This is like milk drinking country. This is like meat and milk country, right? And all these ladies are they have a lot of children out here, is what I'm saying. They're just lots. Yeah. So
Mormons and Catholics
have
the most
big
kids.
Families.
I'm Catholic, you're Mormon. You beat me with kids. I stopped it too.
They kept it coming out pretty. If I'd had a dumb one, I might have stopped early. Anyways, I didn't stop early. So I tried to play softball, but I was too little, honestly. I was too little to be on the team, so I was looking for a class to take, and I took clogging. I tried to take clogging, couldn't get into clogging class. The only one left was fencing. I walked into fencing class. I saw the instructor, and he was in all white and all these beautiful swords laid out, and I was totally in love. I was in love with all of it. I was in love with the outfit. I thought it was so sexy. And the swords, there's just nothing unsexy about fencing. Even if you stink at fencing, it is sexy. You look good, Everybody looks good in fencing.
I mean, I look good in fencing.
Everyone looks good in fencing.
I think it accentuates the butt.
It's everything.
It's like a football player butt.
I think it's a superhero suit. You put it on and you feel like a superhero. You have a sword. Like what?
I mean, we're women, And we sword fight for fun.
Right. What is sexier than that?
Come on, men. You want to marry a fencer.
For reals,
We will keep you on your toes.
For reals, though.
Totally. Okay, so how do you balance your demanding career as a pro athlete with being a wife and mom?
I think every day I'm making adjustments on that. I have a schedule. I mean, we've made fencing a family business. So our fencing club, all of my kids help teach. All of them help teach. All of them are fencers. I met my husband fencing. There's not one of us that doesn't fence. My daughter got married and her husband was one of my fencing students.
Awesome.
So our family picture is us posing fencing. So all in fencing gear. So we've made fencing the family business. And so that's where I've spent the most time with them. I feel like that's my gift that I give to them. You know, the thing I can give them that I think is the most valuable is fencing.
Those sprinklers better not turn on.
I know.
We've been running from sprinklers. I think they're staying over there.
I think you're okay.
Thank God.
I think it's just
So I've kind of made the fencing environment, the fencing venue, where I do parenting and fencing. I teach all the lessons, not just in fencing, but the life lessons in fencing.
And it builds confidence.
It's an excellent skill. It builds confidence and tactical thinking. It allows the children to fail in a safe way and learn and see if they can apply the lessons that failure teaches us. I think that's one thing we're missing a lot is a safe place to fail.
Yeah. That's awesome. Do you homeschool your kids?
I did homeschool my kids,
I'm
yes.
homeschooling Justice next year.
Yeah.
You'll have to give me some...
Yeah. I homeschool them until about 8th grade, and then they do online classes. But I really love my kids. I want to keep them close.
Yeah. Justice is going to do fencing for his PE credit.
Yeah, yeah.
Thursday mornings.
Yeah, do more PE than he would in school.
Yeah,
for sure.
and he hates PE, but he loves fencing.
Yeah.
And his confidence has grown.
Yeah, and sometimes PE classes where your confidence takes a nosedive.
Yeah, because he hates it. He's not an athlete in that sense, but fencing, he loves it.
Yeah, it's a thinking sport.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's just talk about your professional journey for a second. What was your most memorable win? Why does it stand out to you?
My most memorable win was the 2023 Individual Foil World Championship.
What are you all doing tonight? I'm hanging out with a world champion.
And it's memorable because I made it a goal. The year before, I lost to the world champion. I lost to the 2022 world champion in overtime by 1 point. So I knew I could do it, but I needed to overcome a lot of obstacles to do it, and so I made a goal, I made a plan, and I was really worried that I wouldn't do it, but because I had such a clear path in my mind, I created such a plan. When it came together and I did it, like there's a picture of me right after I won the bout, and I'm looking up at heaven like, thank you, Jesus, for helping me actually get through it and do what I set out to do. I felt like we collaborated on that, so it meant a lot to me. It's the most memorable win, for sure.
That's amazing. So can you share some of the challenges that you faced along your journey to being a national world champion?
Oh, some of them are that we live in Utah, and Utah is like it's like literally the middle of the desert, but it's the middle of the fencing desert also. So like the most fencing is in LA, San Francisco, there's some in Texas, there's a teeny bit in Denver, Colorado, and then nothing until, basically the Mississippi. There's little tiny clubs, but not really any fencing meccas until then. And no matter how well you understand the theory of fencing or how athletic you are, there's just such a sharp learning curve when you're working with people that have so much more tactical data because they fence more fencers than you per practice. They fence more skilled fencers than you per practice. So they're getting so much more information about human behavior. And I don't have that. So I have to find it either by watching more or studying my opponents a lot more. I have to practice so many more hours to get the same amount of information that they get in a small amount of time. So that's one of the biggest. And then the other thing is, I do have 5 kids, so I have limited time.
Yeah.
So I really have to make use of what time that I have.
So what's your daily schedule look like?
So I'm a night owl, so I stay up pretty late, so I get up a little bit later. I probably get up around 8:30 or 9, and then I will really try to relax in the morning and do some breathing exercises, and then I usually go to the gym for, I go and lift weights or do yoga or something like that at the gym for probably, I spend a lot of time at the gym.
Yeah, but you have to for...
Yeah, I spend a lot of time at the gym, 2 hours or so at the gym, maybe more, maybe less.
And this is on top of...
On top of fencing,
correct?
yeah, on top of fencing.
Pro athlete people.
And then I'll usually go. It takes time for me to find food that's really productive and not garbage food.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about your nutrition a little bit.
I try to eat clean. I feel like I'm not as good as you about eating. I watched what you were eating. I'm not as good as you.
See, even on a trip, people, I still eat clean.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You eat very clean. But I'll like you don't. It doesn't look to me like you eat carbs very much at all.
I do eat carbs. I actually baked my own bread and brought it here.
Oh yeah, but at the restaurant you didn't eat any carbs.
I had toast this morning.
Okay, good. That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
Because I had an
carbs.
English muffin.
I love bread and butter.
I love bread.
To me, butter is the elixir of life, and bread is a butter carrier.
Yes, butter.
Butter and wine and chocolate.
Yeah, if you're not eating butter, what are you?
Something's wrong with you.
How are
Something's wrong with you.
You're not even enjoying life.
Why live?
Seize the day. Eat some butter. So then, when, am I still talking about nutrition, or am I talking about schedule?
This is part of your schedule, but I wanted to talk about nutrition anyway, because you all know, if you follow me, I'm a holistic health coach and corporate wellness speaker, and I talk ad nauseum about nutrition and how you cannot out-supplement a crappy diet. And as a pro athlete, you have to eat clean. You all know, I always say, you treat your body like a Ferrari. You do not put Kool-Aid in a Ferrari gas tank. No, you put champagne.
Or even you don't put unleaded gas.
No.
Regular unleaded gas. You put premium.
You put the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because that affects your performance.
You put race gas, actually, just for those people who know race gas. Anyway, so you need race gas for your body too.
Yeah. So what's your race gas? Okay. So the days leading up to a competition, what is your nutrition like?
High protein. High protein.
Okay, so you know how back in the day it was all carb loading?
That's crap.
Tell me about that.
Carbs, they don't store. It's fast burning energy. If you're going to eat any carbs at all, you do that maybe right before you compete.
Right.
Or you would choose an easily digestible carb while you're competing. But remember that anytime you eat during a competition that's high demand on your body, you're actually taking your resources and using them to digest food.
Yeah. So
So it better be worth it, whatever you do put in your body at the time. So I don't eat very much when I actually compete. I might drink a lot, but I don't eat a lot. But
so high protein the days
high
leading up.
protein, like whatever your choice of high protein, quality meat, or you can do protein powder. Be careful with what you choose, but you can research and find what you think is a good.
If
protein.
you need help with that, message me. I can help you find a good clean protein. Powder.
Yeah, and then you really can't do anything without vegetables. Vegetables and fruit. You gotta load your vegetables.
What do you like? What's your vegetable go to?
Broccoli. I love broccoli. I love broccoli, and it's so good for you. I wish I loved more of them, but I love broccoli so much.
What else do you like?
I don't know. Anything that you can put butter on.
This is why we get along. You should
butter.
See how much Kerrygold we have in our refrigerator. Girl's like, didn't you just buy some? I'm like, I buy some every time I go to the store, which is multiple times a week, because.
What are you gonna do? What?
That's just the way it is.
End of the world? Stock up on butter.
You
know
can
what
freeze
I mean?
it. I'm learning all about this.
If you're a prepper, the first thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna be like, oh my gosh,
where's the butter? Where's the chocolate?
What am I gonna do?
Forget the toilet paper. You can use the hose.
So my kids, I do think that. Anyways, my kids make fun of me because we have like bottom drawers in the refrigerator. Both of them are just chock full, just butter, just over. And they're like, do you think we have enough butter? And I'm like, no.
You can never have enough. And you know what? If you get a good grass-fed butter, it's a good healthy fat.
It's actually very good for you. Yeah, and that's a stupid thing when people said it wasn't good for you.
They
Stupid.
should come to us for nutrition advice.
And I like dark fruits too. I like fruits that are I like cherries. I love cherries.
They're so good for you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a little trick for those people who work out and they get sore, or you fence. If you fence, you do anything and you get sore.
Y'all need to try fencing. Your life will never be the same.
If you do an activity and the next day you're sore, and the next time you do that activity, drink tart cherry juice. And it was a doctor that told me this. We were at World Championships actually, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so sore tomorrow. And I had to do 4 events in a row. And she's like, I got you this tart cherry juice. This is new.
Oh! Okay, we're back. We had to move locations because we have been
sprinkled
the pond. Our first location for filming, the sprinklers came on, so we ran. So we came to the front yard at the rental house. Didn't see any sprinklers.
Now I don't have to take a shower.
You still need a shower. You smell pretty bad. I'm like soaked. It's good.
It's great. I feel refreshed.
Good. I'm glad. Okay. So tart cherry juice.
Yeah, so then she said just put like a third, like if you have a glass like this much, put a third of tart cherry juice, and then you can mix it with something. So I mix it with orange juice because I just like sweet things. Yeah. And drink it the night right after you do the thing, and the next morning you're not sore.
Okay, so morning of competition, what do you eat?
Nothing.
Is that because of nerves or?
Yeah, I'll throw it up.
Really?
I'll throw it up.
Have you thrown up at a competition from nerves?
So many times, yeah. Many times, yeah. Sometimes a couple times right in my mask, just blow chunks through the. It's like a strainer. I'm like a professional too.
Professional puker?
Professional. I can just keep going. No problem. Ain't no thing. Puke. What?
I would die. I don't do
blood and puke.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened when you have 5 children. By the time you get to the 5th one, I used to call myself Captain Poop. Take care of the dog's poop, all the children's poop.
Not the
puke, puke, whatever. Your bodily fluid, snot, boogers, whatever.
Okay, so nothing, because then you'd be blowing chunks in your fencing mask.
Yeah.
And a fencing mask is already hard enough to breathe in.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Breathing in your
own puke. That's not good.
Disgusting.
No good.
Okay, so she does not eat.
But I will do electrolytes. I can do a little bit of a tiny bit of a protein drink that morning. I could do that.
Something easy to digest.
Something that's, if I could, I'd drink a little bit of a milkshake. It would be perfect.
A little ice cream.
I would. I'd do a little bit, not ice cream, but a milkshake.
Yeah, but you gotta have ice cream in your milkshake.
I mean, some slimy, like soft, slimy. Yeah. But mostly I don't eat anything. Nothing.
Do you do like goo pouches or anything?
No, because they just give you a little bit of. I do caffeine. You know what? This is probably not very healthy. I'm probably not helping her cause or anything.
But it's during a competition. That's a different story. This is not every single day.
Right. I'll do a drink that has Zip Fizz in it. Have you ever seen?
No.
You know what Zip Fizz
No.
is? It's got all the vitamins. It's like a multivitamin. It's a powder.
Okay.
It kind of looks a little bit like fruity cocaine, but it's like fruity cocaine. It's like, but it doesn't have sugar. It has stevia in it and vitamins, and then caffeine.
Well, I
Yeah.
might have to try some fruity cocaine.
You would try that?
Yeah, I'd try it.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't try cocaine. I'd try fruity
caffeine.
Fruity caffeine cocaine.
Yeah. But you put that in, and
I don't know.
so I usually have something with Zip Fizz in it, and then a water, and then I also have a drink that has electrolytes in it. Something, like you could just put electrolytes in another one than water. So sometimes I just want just water with nothing, and no other taste in it. Yeah. And then sometimes I want, so like they say the 3 drinks, one for refreshment, one for hydration, one for entertainment.
Yeah.
That's like.
Do you get dry mouth when you're kids?
Do I? No.
From nerves?
No, I'm thinking about it too much. Yeah. Busy. I do have to go to the bathroom a lot.
You nervous pee? I nervous pee a lot.
Yeah, people make fun
For
of me.
speaking.
Like I'll fence about, and everybody knows I'm gonna go straight to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Then I'll fence about, straight to the bathroom.
Yeah. When I did TED, I nervous peed like 4 times
Yeah.
before I went on.
I think that's your
and
body.
I get dry mouth too when I get nervous. I'm not always drink. I mean, you see me, I'm with
Yeah.
water all the time.
You got your
All the time.
big old Stanley cup.
Constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so mindset. This was such an awesome conversation today. Right?
Yeah, I learned a lot from it. Yeah.
I did
I
too.
learned a lot.
You taught me some really cool things
Oh,
too.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
I thought about it for the rest of the day.
Well, that's a sign of a great conversation.
Yeah.
My job is done. Very much. I came to learn from you, and
I learned.
good, cool. All right, so how do you stay motivated and focused, especially during tough times or after a loss?
Well, okay, so during tough times or after a loss, which one? During tough times?
Tough times.
Tough times during the competition?
Tough time. Let's do tough times in your day-to-day life. Family life. Because the people watching this, they're moms, and they're also career women.
Yeah.
So let's talk personal life and then as in your profession.
I think whatever you do professionally, I would make that a meditational process. Because if you just work for a living, that's going to leave you, like, what are you even doing with your life?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, if I was a carpenter, then I would treat everything I do like a meditation, like a practice, you know, like a creation practice of spirituality, you know, everything like that.
Sorry, we're in the heart of downtown Moab, which is like.
So, I mean, I would do this. I would just do that all the time. I would do that for
Just transfer it into
everything, so that all of your whatever your stresses are, if you can just bring that focus in and just really look for the perfection in what you're doing. Focus on the creation that you're building, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest way to handle your problems. Sometimes you don't know what the answer is. You know, especially if it's an emotional problem or a relationship difficulty or you're grieving or something like that, it all feels so disorganized. But whatever you're good at, whatever you're so good at, you're getting paid for, right? That is organization. So you can organize that. It's such a great feeling. It makes you feel less powerless, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I might not understand what to do with my 21-year-old daughter, who's not, I hope not watching, but she might not understand what to do with my 21-year-old daughter, who I don't think we're getting along very well sometimes. I don't understand. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But I do know how to fence. So I'm going to, like, really lean into my fencing to kind of give my brain the comfort it needs, the organization it needs, the performance that it needs to organize. And then it gives me kind of a renewed ability to go and think about the problems I don't have the answers to, or at least
a fresh mind,
or at least the endurance to just trust that the universe is gonna, the trust the universe is going to resolve somehow.
Yeah. So today we talked about the importance of visual. Cannot talk. It's been a long day. The importance of visualization.
Yeah.
As a pro athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I practice this as a speaker. I visualize from the moment I get up on the stage to the moment I walk off, like how I want to show up, how I want to dress, how I want to feel, how I want the audience to feel. Share with the people watching what this process looks like for you as a professional athlete going into a world championship. High pressure. Lots of eyeballs on you. What is your process?
Well, the first thing I do is not be afraid to make a goal. You know, I think we talk ourselves out of goals, really big goals. We want to give ourselves outs because we know it'll hurt if we don't accomplish the goal. So the first thing I do is write down the goal and commit to doing it. Like
Do you put a timeline on it? Like 5 years from now, I'm going to.
I make an event and I say I'm gonna have this. You know, like some goals I don't put a timeline on, but like if we're talking about a world championship event, yeah, then that's event-oriented visualization. But I mean, like if it's like one of my goals was to have my own fencing club, right? And I didn't put a timeline on that. Instead, I just focused on the next step relentlessly.
What's the next right thing to do?
Yeah, the next thing I need to do, and I'm just relentless on that thing. And I'm not worried about the total thing. I just know if I focus on that step and when I get that one done, I'll be ready to do the next one. And then I won't even worry about how much time it's taking me. It'll be joyful to go through the process of completing those steps, you know?
Yeah.
But if we're talking about a world championship or something like that, I'm going to write down the goal I have for the competition. Sometimes they say don't have achievement goals, have performance goals. But I think that's wrong. Have both. Have both. Have performance goals. Say this is what I want to achieve and this is my performance goal that will get me to that achievement. Yeah.
And you said today during our time together that for you it's about getting the gold. It's like gold or nothing.
Gold or garbage.
Gold or garbage.
And I know, you know, like somebody's gonna say, "Oh, that's so unhealthy." Maybe
But
that's
for you, it's
but
not.
that's my value.
That's what's worked for you.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I just think you should not be afraid. Get what you want. Decide what you want, and don't let other people tell you can't have what you want. Go get what you want.
It's
right?
your dream.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want gold. Anything less than that is not what I want.
Yeah.
I'm not ungrateful. I'm grateful.
How
like
many goals do you have?
I don't know.
Too
How many
many.
goals?
She's got a lot.
I don't know. I have a lot.
I've seen pictures.
I have a lot. I don't know. That's what happens when you want a gold. When you're just like, no, that second's not good enough.
Nothing's gonna
I want
taste.
gold, and
Yeah.
I'm going to commit to getting that gold. If I don't commit to it, silver will be good enough for me,
And you don't want that.
and I don't want that. I want gold. I only want gold.
So you base your actions according to your goal.
I do.
Nothing less.
I say this is my goal. Now, that's my achievement goal. What is my performance goal that I believe will get me to that? Like a ladder, you know. Like
Yeah.
I know if I make a performance ladder, I'm going to get to my goal.
It's just like I talk with you guys about, like, if you're just, you want to lose 10 pounds, well, what are you going to do to lose those 10 pounds? Like, you're going to sleep, you're going to drink more water, you're going to get your body moving. For some of you, that's CrossFit. For some of you, that's just going for a 20-minute walk because you don't do anything and your knees and your back hurt, right? It's baby steps. It's watching what you eat, the 80-20 mindset. 80% of the time you eat clean, 20% you have your cocktail and your cake and you eat it too, right? But everything's in steps.
And that's exactly right.
And you celebrate your wins along the way.
You make the step. You focus 100% on step one.
And that's it.
That's it. And then once step one, pat yourself on the back, take a moment, take a breath, and
Right?
say,
How big?
yeah.
Celebrate. You have to
Celebrate.
celebrate your win. That's a huge thing because
Take a minute and say,
so many
Yeah.
people don't do that.
Yeah, I
It's
did
like,
that.
Oh, but it's not enough. I haven't.
you're right, it's not enough. But that's a good step one.
It's a huge.
You don't get to finish step. You don't get
No.
to the finish if you don't do the first.
That's right.
So every time you take a step, take a breath and be like, I did that.
Yes.
Yes.
And for some of you, that might be something really, like for me, eating clean isn't a big deal. I'm so used to it, and you're used to it.
I'm used to it.
But for somebody else, that's really uncomfortable. And so if you go 3 days eating clean, please give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate.
even if on day 4 you're like, forget it, hot dog. Like, then okay, while you're eating that hot dog, be like,
Tomorrow,
I earned this hot dog.
Yeah,
I
and what
earned this
am
hot
I
dog.
going to do different tomorrow?
I don't get another hot dog until I do it again. And
Yeah.
if you do it over and over and over again, pretty soon you won't even need the hot dog. Pretty soon you'll find another way to celebrate.
To celebrate, yeah. Not like food related.
Yeah.
You talked earlier today too about like kind of with your spiritual life, like the whole creation process and visualizing what you want
Yeah.
and how like it's like God downloads that into you. Like you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It funnels into you and you're like partnering with him to make it happen. Can you talk a little bit about that if you're comfortable?
Yeah, I feel like I learned this. I don't think God says, do this, or or you're not a bad or you're a bad person. You're
Right.
going to hell if you don't do this.
Right.
I don't think God says you're supposed to do this. I think what God does is say, what do you want? What would
Yeah.
you like? What would you like to do with your life? What do you want to do? What do you want to create?
Yeah.
And then I say back to God, I want to be the 2023 double gold medal world champion. And God says, okay, all right, that's a good goal. And then he says, well, in order to do that, you're going to need to. And then he inspires you with the information. Maybe not all at once, maybe all at once.
Next step.
Maybe. Yeah, but probably you should do this.
Okay, and we talked about resistance coming, like when you're about to up level, right? Like I was sharing with her about when I landed the TED Talk, I freaked out.
Yeah.
Like the little committee went into overdrive, and I was on the phone with my
The
mindset
itty
coach.
bitty.
The itty bitty committee, right? And because you're going to a whole other level, and we talked about how when you are about to embark on something that you've been dreaming about doing, that your character has to get formed in order to carry the weight of that calling that God is allowing you to carry. Like you're stewarding, like God's given you a gift of athleticism, specifically in the area of fencing, and an opportunity to be a woman of incredible influence to young women and even women our age, right?
Right.
And some of the stuff that you were sharing with me about, you know, you just had all these wins.
Yeah.
I just want to be careful what I'm saying, because I don't want
It's
to
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
I don't want to but then some resistance came, and so
Yeah.
now you're doing a whole other level of mindset work to
Well-
get yourself over that hump, correct?
Yeah, I think when you make a goal, it's because it's above you.
Yeah.
Right? Like you make a goal and you say, I wanna be a champion, or I wanna be a great painter, or I wanna be a TED Talk speaker, or I wanna be an influencer, whatever your goal is. I wanna be a supermodel, whatever. You're not that yet. You're not that. So you're going to experience a lot of resistance and pushback
As you're growing.
as you're trying to be that.
Yeah.
But that's preparation. That's actually it makes you feel bad, because what happens is it reveals all your spots that it's like God is telling you, oh, you want to be the 2023 double world champion? Here's the things you have to work on. You need to work on this, this, and this. And if you're not careful, if you don't really think about it, you could interpret that like, I don't deserve to be this.
Yeah.
But if you're smart, you'll interpret it like, oh, thank you for showing
It's
me
all
that
in the
thing.
interpretation too.
Yeah.
And when you do the mindset and you recognize, like, it's not a rejection thing, it's not that you're not good enough, it's that God is calling you higher.
Yeah.
And you've got big shoes to fill. Like King David, before he became king, he was a shepherd dealing with sheep poop all the time. But God was using him during that shepherding time to teach the valuable lessons that he needed to become king.
I mean, it even says in Book of Samuel, that before he used a sling and killed Goliath, he was killing bears and lions.
Killing bears and
So
lions.
that, like, to protect the sheep. So
Yeah.
that's resistance, right? If you're doing something that's a threat, it probably felt really terrible in the moment, like a
Right.
lion, or like, think about it.
Yeah.
It probably felt really terrible in the moment, but really that's preparation. So every resistance you have before a really big success, every resistance is not the universe telling you you're not good enough. It's the universe.
Or that you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not.
It's helping to get
It's the
you,
universe to saying, here's the work you need to do.
Yeah.
Here's the work
It's
you
a
need
blessing. It's a resistance
Yeah.
can be a blessing, but again, it's all in the way that you look at it. It's
And gratitude.
perspective. Right? Okay, let's talk about gratitude.
to. Well, like we were just saying, like, so, this last world championship, I had this huge success, this year around, I know lots of people are watching a lot more video of me and studying me.
Listen, just like football, in fencing, you watch footage because you want to be able to learn and grow.
You want to know how people think. You want to watch what their reactions are. A lot of people are watching video of me to try to figure out.
She's really good.
To try to figure out what my weaknesses are. And at first I was so irritated. It's the first time that's ever happened, that I've had so many people watching video of me. I was so irritated about it. But then I was like, actually, it's kind of cool,
It's a compliment.
because it motivates me to level up.
Yeah.
So however good I was last year when I won those 2 medals, I have to be twice as good this year. And what an amazing opportunity I have. Maybe by the time I finish this World Championships, I'll be a better fencer than in my wildest dreams.
Right?
Yeah, and after all, what are we trying to win competitions for? We want to have validation that we're good at something.
Yeah.
So,
And you're using your gift.
And you're using.
And you're bringing people
it's shining bright for
Shine-
people. Yeah, shining like you're like a city on a hill, right? Shining bright.
Shine bright, girl.
Yeah.
Like a diamond.
Supernova.
Talking about shining bright a lot today. Yeah.
So we were talking about visualization.
Yeah.
So I think that first you make the goal, write it down, commit to doing it, then meditate on what the process is, allow the resistance of the universe to help you identify the spots that you need to prepare.
Yeah.
And then once you have your plan, once you have your process leading up to whatever the goal is, see yourself doing those things. See yourself, for me, like when I step up to the line, like I'm visualizing, I wake up in the morning, I actually start earlier than that. I'm going to bed at night and I feel nervous. And it's okay, Julie, it's okay if you're nervous. I might not sleep well that night. It's totally fine. You can just lay in your bed and not sleep all night. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Your body is resting. Just be okay. It'll be fine. I get up the next morning. I feel like garbage. That's okay, Julie. That's your body getting ready. I get to the venue. I have all of these things that I have to do to get ready to be on strip and get ready to play. And there's a line that you start on, a start line, guard line. It's called an on-guard line. And I visualize putting my mask on my head, taking a deep breath, blowing out, stepping up to the line, and I know exactly what the first step I'm going to do is, what the first movement I'm going to do is, and what the next movement is after that. And I know how I'm going to play the game. I see it. I run it through my head. The entire competition, I'll run it through my head. I'll say, how am I feeling after the pools? Like this. How am I feeling during the bout when I'm tired? Like this. Once I tell myself this is how you're going to feel, and I give myself permission to feel those things.
Yeah.
Permission to be nervous. Permission to feel nauseated. Permission to be scared. Permission to have setbacks that I have to overcome during the competition.
Yeah.
Permission.
So do you notice then when you get on the strip, things happen the way that you visualize them?
It's really weird. I was telling you, I fenced a bout, and this is the first time I started doing a visualization. I did it on accident. I didn't even know what visualization was. And I just, I was kind of daydreaming about how I'd like to win this competition. I was daydreaming about the final bout. And a certain song came on, it was very motivational, and I just started kind of daydreaming to the beat of the song.
Mm.
And then I started thinking, if I get this point, I'd like to get it like this, and I'm going to get this point like that, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to finish the bout with this point, and then I'm going to celebrate like this. And I was so into it. It was just a fantasy, you know, but I was so into it. And
but if you can see it, you can have it. That's the thing.
And the song
right?
reminded me of it. And then the day of the competition, I was thinking about this later. The day of the competition, I played the song right before I started fencing. And I remembered the whole thing. And then the competition happened and the final bout happened. And the craziest thing, I got every single point exactly how I saw it. Even the weird ones. I got the last point was like around my head. Like I, block the blade and come around and hit like this behind my head. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And I got it. And I even after the bout, I remember thinking, this is some crazy magic happening right here.
That's what I experienced with TED, start to finish, the whole 9-month process.
Yeah.
I visualized how I was going to show up, how I was going to walk off that stage, how I was going to feel standing, waiting, because I was the anchor for the whole thing. And I experienced everything I visualized.
And I think some people, we call that manifesting, right?
Yeah.
And I think some people they say they're spiritual, and they might not include God or the idea of a higher power in that. And I think that just because you believe in manifesting doesn't mean you don't believe in God.
Totally.
I think with God, your power to manifest,
it's so much greater.
Times 100.
I mean, you see in the Bible all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think people are afraid to talk about it. There's a great book it's by Patricia King, called God's Law of Attraction, and it talks about this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think manifesting is apart from God.
I think it's 100%. And when you can understand that it's a spiritual law that God created, and we're just tapping into it, it's like frequency and vibration. Like everything has a vibration to it, and part of manifesting is getting yourself on the frequency of what you're wanting. And so often we're not on the frequency of what we want. We have to do the inner work to get ourselves there. And it's just like tuning a radio dial. Like, you have to get yourself there, and when you do, everything goes into flow. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that, you know, if even if you don't want to say God, if you say the universe or my higher self, you know, those are all, you know, euphemisms, phrases. I think they all mean the same thing. They mean the source creative power of the universe. And the higher your vibration is, the closer you are, the more you resemble that creative force.
Yeah.
So then you can create like that
we're
creative
meant to create.
force.
We're meant to create like our Creator created us.
Yeah, like it's
You
the
know?
difference.
And I mean, God created everything with spoken word, right?
Right.
So how much do you speak out what you're wanting to? Like
Oh,
you're making declarations and affirmations.
All of my goals are my prayers.
Yeah.
All of my goals are verbalized, and I think prayer is the spoken meditation of your desire. Your desire is
and you're
what,
talking to your like, for me, it's talking to my best friend. Like
I agree.
Like prayer is so. I'm actually giving a talk for a retreat on prayer.
Yeah.
For a group of women.
Power of
in
prayer.
July, and a lot of people don't know how to pray. And praying is just, it's like talking to your best friend.
Just talk.
You're just talking. It's not like, you can recite some, for us Catholics, like we have written prayers, but we also just talk like you're talking to a friend.
Just talk.
Just like this, super easy. It's nothing scary.
People talk to a higher power all the time. No matter what they call it, they talk to, some people talk to the wind or whatever.
And you have to watch your words too, because your words are containers for power. It's in Deuteronomy, like life and death are in the power of the tongue. So choose life, right? Like, what are you speaking over yourself? Like, I can assure you, she's not walking around calling herself a loser and all the things, right?
No.
Like, you have such a healthy view of yourself. You believe in yourself. You speak that out. Like, you're not. Like, I've been with her for a couple of days now. Like, she's not an arrogant jerk. Okay. Like, she's very confident. But it's like an attractive confidence. It's not a repelling.
It's not a jerky confidence. I think
not jerky confidence.
I think if I have a greatest strength and a greatest weakness, it's that I'm totally like I think, oh, I can do that. Like I can do that. And that's the story of that guy, that kid that keeps throwing the ball up, and he's like singing the song, I'm the greatest hitter there ever was. And he keeps missing the ball, and then on the 10th time or so he changes the song and says, I'm the greatest pitcher there ever was. That's the kind of
that's what you gotta do.
That's my self-talk. I'm like, so good, so awesome, I can totally do that.
Yeah That's like Noah. He's like that. It's like, Mom, I'm the greatest. I'm like, yeah, you are. It is. But so many people think so low of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like we're our own worst enemy, and we have to be our own biggest encourager.
Biggest fan. I think that's fear. Sometimes we talk down to ourselves because we're so afraid that we're not what we think we are.
Yeah.
And the truth is, what you emotionally commit to, that is what you are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to close out. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for spending time with Julie and I. Where can people find you on social media?
That's a good question. Coach Julie Seal, Instagram, Facebook. You can even find me on YouTube. Coach Julie. On YouTube, it's Valkyrie Fencing.
Can you spell that for me?
VALKYRIE. Valkyrie. Just type in Valkyrie Fencing, you'll find it.
Yeah, she's super fun to watch. She's absolutely hilarious. Check out her videos if you're interested in fencing. You're in Utah, you know where to go. She's in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
If you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, Triple Threat Fencing Academy or Charlotte Fencing Academy. Two great places. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're awesome. You're awesome.